Today I'm going to talk to you about producing your own homemade spirits and liqueurs using the Still Spirits Air Still. What we have here is our ingredients pack, which contains everything you'll need, along with 7.5 litres of water and 2.5 kilos of dextrose or corn sugar. What we have in this pack here that we're going to add in just a few moments is going to give you a great result from your air still. We're going to top in 2.5 kilos of dextrose. There we go. Give that a nice stir. This takes a few minutes to give this a stir because it's quite important that that gets dissolved well.
Why dextrose? Why dextrose?
Oh, you use dextrose because it gives you a better result, a cleaner result than what it would if you were to use ordinary kitchen sugar, as we like to call it. It gives you a much cleaner taste, and because you're going to want a nice clean tasting spirit. After you've dissolved that well, we're going to just snip the top off here. This is just a liquid carbon. Give that a massage and get all that out. This is quite a messy job, but once it's in, it's done. Give it a good squeeze. There we go. Now we're going to stir that up and get all the lumps out. Once again, take a minute or so to do this, don't rush it. There we go. The next part is the yeast. Okay, we're just going to snip the corner off this yeast. Sprinkle it on. There we go. Give it a little bit of a stir up again. There we are. Pop this lid on. Now with this lid here, you can see the knob on the top. That actually has a filter inside it there. It has a little carbon block. So while this fermentation process is happening in your kitchen, because this can just stay in your kitchen for a week now, it's not an unpleasant piece that's going to look out of place anywhere. You'll get no smells because you've got a carbon filter in the top of it here. And just pop it over in a corner of the kitchen bench or somewhere that you like for about a week and let it ferment away. No smells, looks great. After the week, the next step we're going to come back to will be using this Turbo Clear product. So here we are a week later and we're going to go through the clearing process, but before we do that, we just need to lift the lid and check that there's no signs of activity in there, no bubbles coming up from the top, and it's done a beautiful job fermenting away there for the week. What we have to do now is just following the instructions on this Turbo Clear, which is your part A and your part B. The first thing we're going to do is give this a really good stir. We're going to stir it very well, and this is called degassing, and stir it vigorously to get all the gas out of it. Give it a really good stir. Then we're going to add this part A. There we go. Give that a good stir in and just seal that back up. Now we're going to wait for an hour before we come back and do the part B. During that hour you can go off and do a bit of gardening or make a cup of coffee or anything. Okay, an hour later, we're just going to, this is gently now. As I said before, we vigorously stirred in part A, vigorously degassed it. Now we're going to very gently add this, just gently around the top so that it coats everything and takes it to the bottom. There we go. We're going to seal that up now and wait for 24 hours, and in 24 hours time it'll be ready for distilling. Once we distill it, then you'll be able to filter it and get some flavours into it and really enjoy it. Here we are now another day later, and as you can see, this has cleared beautifully. We're going to take 4 litres out of here, and look how beautiful and clear that is now. It's very important that you use the Turbo Clear and follow all the instructions precisely on it, because it gives you a cleaner wash. A cleaner wash, when it's distilled, will give you a cleaner tasting spirit, because we all want a good tasting spirit. That's most important. Here we have the jug, beautiful 4 litres of cleared wash. We're going to pop that in here, take the lid off nice and easy. 1 little cap full of this conditioner, which is just a product to stop it from bubbling over when it's boiling. Nice and simple. Snip the top off these little ceramic boil enhancers and tip them in. They just help with the boiling process as well. And we're just going to tip this nice clean wash in to the Still Spirits Air Still. Nice and simple, just like filling up your kettle at home. There we go. Now we're just going to plug this in. Nice and simple. One plug in the bottom, another one in there, and that's it. Make sure you've got your jug in place ready and wait about an hour for that to start dripping. You don't have to stay around. Once you've got your jug in place, you can go off and have a cup of coffee or something and come back to it. As long as you've got your jug in place, it'll take about an hour to heat up. We've collected our 700 mils now, and we're going to turn the still off because anything that we collect after this won't be as good quality. We want the best quality once again. We've got our 700 mils of spirit here that we've collected out of the still, beautiful and clean. We're going to add 300 mils of water, and in a second we're just going to pour it into this nice, easy to use filter. In this ingredients pack that we talked about before, we've got 3 of the carbon cartridges. One of them, as you know, we've used already in the fermentation process to keep the smells out of your house from the fermentation process. There's 2 more in here, which will be 1 for each time that you run a batch of spirit through your filter. This is what it looks like. It's very, very simple to set it up. Pop it in there. Pour our litre of beautiful spirit into here, which you can almost smell that beautiful spirit there, lovely and clean, and let it go through there. It's just going to polish that up a little bit so that you have a nice clean product at the end, ready for flavouring and drinking. Here we have our litre of beautifully filtered spirit, which was really simple to produce, and we're just going to tip 750 mils of that into there and going to make some whiskey. This whiskey essence here comes from our Air Still flavoured range, and just snip the top off and pour that in there. It's as simple as that. Give it a good shake to get the last little bits out. Stir it up, and there you have 750 mils of whiskey that you've produced yourself in your home. Now that we've got the man of the household covered with his whiskey, there's no limit to what you can make. A few more things suitable for the men, another whiskey and bourbon. Then you can go on to the liqueurs, which the ladies love. I can make coconut rum, which is similar to that very popular coconut rum that we love. Black Sambuca, lovely Irish cream, even a nice gin. So there you have it. It's simple, it's easy, it's affordable. I'm sure you'll have a great time doing your own liqueurs and spirits.